Is the Model 3 big enough for a tall driver? Let's have a look. Hey, what's going on guys? It's Jordan from Just Tesla, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to show how big the Model 3 is in terms of for drivers. Really just want to apologize about the wind, if there is any wind noise today. A lot of people ask me, Jordan, how big is the Model 3? How does it fit you? So I'm 6'7", so I'm on the taller side, and a lot of people worry that the Model 3 is, because it's Tesla's smallest car, they worry about if the Model 3 is big enough for them as a tall driver. So today, that's what we're going to go through. I mean, so some people will call me a Tesla fanboy and say I'm biased to the company, but as you can see, there's obviously a lot of legroom for a tall driver. And that's not an biased opinion. It's not because I love Tesla. It's you can see it for yourself. So, being serious, let's actually have a look at the legroom, okay? So first of all, we can take the seat, so you can have it higher, but if you are a tall driver, you can take it low. So that's as low as the seat will go. Now, let's see how far we can go back. Okay, so back in the day when I was driving my Volkswagen Polo around, this is probably the driving space I had. I'd probably have the seat a little bit laid back a little bit, but that's probably the driving space I'd have. Okay for city driving, not bad, but let's see if we've got anything else in here. There we go. So now I'm probably at my Skoda. So this is the car I was driving before this car. And this is a nice comfortable space for me. I'm happy to drive at this. Plenty of leg room, lots of room to move around. But let's see where I like to sit nowadays. Whoo! So this is probably where I would sit on a long journey down the A1, you know, traveling for long periods of time, 50, 60 miles, 100 miles, 200, 300 miles. This is where I would sit, nice and relaxed. I'd probably have my seat, if I was on a really long drive, I'd probably have my seat a little bit further back. No problem whatsoever. Let's see if we've got anything else in the tank. Come on, come on. So, that's the seat fully extended. If I was on an extremely long journey, I might use this, but that's only on an extremely long journey. I'd probably sit around here. So my hands, I'm not reaching forward, my hands would be here. So as you can see, there's plenty and plenty of room. The Model 3 is actually quite surprising. I've just been driving the Model S. That felt really big and spacious, and I was worried about stepping back into the Model 3 if it'd feel tight. But after doing a bit of research online, the Model 3 actually has the exact same legroom in the driving position as the Model S. One of the biggest concerns I think for a lot of tall guys is headroom. As you can see, there is a lot of headroom between me and the roof. That's with a fairly upright position. I mean, if you're more inclined to sit further back, there's plenty of headroom. And if you're coming even further forward, there's plenty of headroom. So for me, the headroom is more than adequate, but it's the legroom that's so amazing. To be able to have this much legroom, to really be able to stretch my legs fully out, I've really managed to be able to relax on autopilot on long journeys. The only difference with the Model 3 over the Model S is the width of the interior. So there's slightly less room width-wise. So if you're a bigger person, I'm quite a big guy, I weigh a good 20, well, no, maybe about 19, 20 stone-ish at the moment. So I'm quite a big chunky guy, and it's more than enough for me. But if you was a bit bigger than that, I mean, I still think there's a lot of room for growth in here, but that's when you maybe consider a bigger car if you was a really big guy. If you were 6'10", you'd have no problems in the Model 3. If you over 7 foot, it might be worth testing out to drive. But I know a lot of the 7-footers will sit in a more adjusted position. For someone who's 6'7", it's more than enough for me. So I would, in my driving position, I'd be around here. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different, the rear seats. Let's go have a look at the rear seats. As you can see, we've got if I was driving and my twin brother, I haven't got a twin brother, but if I did, was sitting behind me. You won't find many cars where you could have me in the front and also me in the back. So this is actually quite impressive. I could sit here. You're not going to be traveling with two 6'7" people in the front and rear seat. You'd arrange it so it wasn't like that. There is only one critique I would have of the Model 3 interior for tall people. This would be the problem in a long journey, and that is the headroom in the back. Now, a lot of my height is in my legs, and even for me, with a shorter body, still larger than normal, but my head it touches the roof. I have to bend down a little bit. So if I was on a long journey, I'd probably be hunched over a little bit. Now, again, not too much of a problem if you're not having huge people in the back. The only time this would be a problem is if you're transporting a basketball team over 50 to 100 miles. If you're going further than that, then I could see it being a problem. I don't see it being too much of a problem. If you had really tall guys in here, you might struggle to get 5, 6'7" people in here. Now that's obviously ridiculous. I think for a short journey, you could get 4 6'7" people in here, and it wouldn't be too uncomfortable. And on long journeys, the car is suited to any configuration of 4 people. Any type of 4 people, you wouldn't have a problem taking them with you, which I think is unbelievable. It's not often you get that in a vehicle this size to have this much interior space on the inside. So yeah, pretty impressive. One thing I want to show you is how, it sounds ridiculous, but with the Model 3, they've got an amazing feature for us tall guys or us big guys to get in and out of cars. And I want to go show you that right now. It's called Easy Entry, and it makes getting in and out of the car super easy. So every time you get in and every time you get out, the car sets the seat into the easy entry position. And then when you get ready to drive and put the car in drive, it then moves into your driver position, which is where you've set everything. So let's try that out. Get into the car. That's really easy for me to get into the car, okay? What I'm gonna do now is put it into drive, and straight away, the car moves me into the position I like to drive. That simple. With Easy Entry, you can set it up in many different ways. One thing I've not adjusted yet is the wheel, but I will be doing that at some point just to move the wheel a little bit further away from me. You have your driver profile. So this is the driver profile for me. If I go into driver profile settings and click Jordan, you have this, use Easy Entry. Now Easy Entry is like another driver profile, so you can set the other driver's profile. You can change this by setting it to, so we go here, we click Easy Entry, now the seat's going back into Easy Entry. So now what I want to do is make adjustments to the seat whilst I'm in the Easy Entry mode. So if you were a little bit smaller, you could come forward and have your Easy Entry a little bit forward. If you want the seat further back, you would set it further back. You could have the seat really far back if you really wanted to, and then you just press save on here. Now I'm going to change the wheel positioning for now. So I want it to go a little bit up, and then I want it to go really, really far in. My Easy Entry position is now saved. So I'm going to save that there. I'm going to put it into park, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like now. So now bear in mind, the wheel's going to move as well. So now it makes it, there's more room for me to get in the car. This is what I should have set up prior. Should have set this up before. So this is my new Easy Entry. I've set it up. This is the first time using it. Swing over. There's a lot more room for me then with my legs. Foot on the brake and put it into drive. And the wheel comes out. I go forward. Feel like I'm in some sort of Iron Man costume or something. It's pretty crazy. So there you go. That's Easy Entry in action, and it's the same when I put it in park, and then it takes the wheel away, takes me back. There we go. Get out of the car. Nice and easy. Lovely. Amazing feature. So it's just things like this that make, in my opinion, make the Model 3 a better car for the taller person. What I recommend for you taller guys is get down to a test drive and give it a go. When I first got into the Model 3, they had it set up for a normal person and it felt tiny, and I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've done. Why did I buy a car that's so small? And then she told me to adjust the vehicle and adjust the seats, and I couldn't believe how much space there was in it. So yeah, get down to a service centre, book yourself in for a test drive and test the car out for yourself and see if there's enough room. But for me, 6'7", there is more than enough, a lot more than enough. I can get 4 adults in the car with myself, more than enough room, plenty of headroom. Knee pain, don't get my knee pain on my long journeys anymore, which is very rare, and that's because I don't have to mess about with the pedals. I can just relax my feet as autopilot does the work. Anyway, that's everything, guys. Something different. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, please throw a like on it. If you liked it that much, give it a little share. And if you're thinking about buying a Model 3, especially you tall guys, now you've seen this, if you're thinking about buying a Model 3, please use the link in the description. It gets you 1,000 free supercharging miles, it gets me 1,000 free supercharging miles, and it helps support the channel. It means I can do longer journeys if I get some referrals going. Anyway, that's all. See you in a bit, guys.